What's good, everybody? You rocking with your boys are all rights reserved. We finna get into it again. Now, one thing I wanted to say was, the shirt is the way because I got to be careful how I do the promoting for people that aren't supporting, and I mean other businesses. So I'm backing off promoting other businesses that aren't really involved. So if I have a symbol on it, that's fine. But if it's a well-known franchise or a business on the shirt, they're not getting free promotion. You guys got to submit and help build the support of the channel, as well as everyone else who's helping. Anyone else who has anything they want to send, I'll promote your business, especially if you're a supporter. By name, have your name and all your information on it. I'll rock with you. I'll show that off as I'm doing my videos and different things. A lot of people don't understand it, but it's about business, as it always is. You rocking with your boys are all rights reserved. Once again, you know what it is. $, capital THE, capital CZARR. Shout to everyone supporting the channel this week. Shout to everyone that submitted and gave something. You could check it in the description, or I'll have it in the top pinned comment exactly how to reach out and support the channel. Now, we finna get into something else right now. Number one, I want to say that the narrative that I started yesterday is not going to continue unless A, I get an autopsy report, B, I get a toxicology report, or C, one of the people I named, Victor, and a newscaster actually respond. That's not the reason that I'm going to speak about something referring to the situation, but in lasting to the situation, I want to speak about something that's real. Now, did the Miami Herald and other different huge media sources, much larger than me, known to the local area and around the world, not that they made a mistake, but did they put out alternative information to actually what the situation was? Now, here's why I say this. Where did I get the names involving Kerr from? Well, obviously it was from the local Miami Herald. Did they do that to throw off the true person? With new evidence and information I have, I don't even see the connection of any Kerr to the situation, let alone the connection of other people we've been talking about. And I've been looking at it detailed, and new information has brought it in to not only support the Victor thing, but to show that these people who we thought were just viewing it were actually more effective in this situation than anyone actually understands. So when I see people in general say it's families involved, different things, I don't feel that way. I want to let that be known, because the way I'm disporting the narrative, the different things we talked about, they're objective, but sometimes people get the wrong view. I don't know if I can say a family was involved. I don't see the connections. Yes, you can make up reasons why you think they were heavily implicated or whatever, but I don't think they were involved directly with anything to do with this as much as anyone. Now, I will say that since we found lies in what Victor said, mentioning an uncle just would have made sense, because if I actually had something to do with the situation, I would mention a family member or something, because it's believable. It's believable. Let alone, we don't even see a passenger in there when he stopped at the gate. So that's a lot of why I'm putting things out this way, so you understand that there's definitely a darker motive to it. Who had the most motive? Matter of fact, who profited the most off of the situation? It was the people that gave that fake story that got a bunch of followers and a bunch of people into who they were, because we wouldn't know who you were if you weren't talking about things. You see, vice versa. And I even use myself, because I like to be out there. That's how I put myself out there. I didn't gain anything from this situation any more than I did starting this YouTube when I first talked about things. This YouTube's been around a long time. You could check it out. And I talked about many things. I had stories of Chicago, and we're going to go back to a narrative that I want to put out there to Chicago. I talked about Kanika Jenkins, many different situations. Those got far more views than a lot of the other videos I had. So do not think that I'm trying to play sides or do anything of that sort. I'm trying to be realistic in what I release. That's the only thing. So I'm keeping it real with people when I say these things. And could this have been something to pull attention away from the other man and push it onto the narratives of people with a past? You see, sometimes people grow off their past and they become better people. They learn more. They educate themselves, and hatred comes. That's why I'm not doing this with the emotion of hate. Now, I will say I was very emotional dealing with the situation with Victor just because of the different stuff I have. And that narrative's not going away for the Victor thing because of what I have. I'm just trying to figure out if what I have is the truth, as well as some things dealing with Riva Motorsports. But we'll get into that because, we say Riva Motorsports, but Riva Motorsports is not solely discretionarily in charge of what some of their, let's say, employees do. They don't make choices for everyone. They happen to be involved in the situation, and that's something I had to learn as I read. And I looked at different things. I'm like, wait, just because he works there doesn't mean this place is involved. And I had to understand that. And I had to talk to many different mentors to narrate through it. And they didn't come against me when I said it, but at the same time, they helped me support understandings for not only different videos I made, but just information I released within the videos. So I had to grow. Again, this channel is a growing process. Me, I'm a growing process you're watching before your eyes. And that's how I need to investigate information. As I'm growing, I'm always going to sit there and let you contribute your questions to me and let me think through it and let me look through it. But it's going to only get stronger. And when you see my other videos I have today, don't go nowhere. Watch them through to the end. Watch the ads, watch everything, because you're going to see the growth in how I present information. And that's what I can say as a man. You know what I mean? That's how I can stand on it as a man, because the same way these suspects, just because they had a felonious past doesn't mean they're still criminals, is the same way I look at this. Just because we looked through the information and objectively saw that some of these people were held and arrested for different things doesn't mean they're those type of people today. And another thing I want to say is no more slandering the mother. I already did the appreciation to it. You guys don't know what it's like to lose a son. Most of you don't. And most people don't know what it's like to lose something you love. That's the thing. And I know how that feels. My life started on me losing something I love. So I can tell you, if you haven't been through that, that feeling is detrimental. It's terrible. Now, let's get back to the Miami Herald and these different sources releasing certain information. Did they release it to throw people off on what actually happened? Did they name people they knew of but didn't know what? You know what I mean? In order for me to know of someone and name someone and point in a certain direction, I have to directly have evidence to show they were involved. Now, you're saying video of a family member going to the bank with him. That has nothing to do with who pulled up with him at Riva Motorsports, let alone if he even pulled up with anyone at all. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of objective stuff that have been led to truth to ask other questions. But when I objectively discuss your questions, it's towards a purpose of understanding. It's not towards a purpose of fact, a purpose of truth. Because we don't know what the truth is. That's the whole point of us discussing it objectively. Just so your minds are reeled in back around what we're actually doing here. You know, there's many different viewpoints on how people can handle situations. That's how we handle them on this channel. It's nothing outright where I'm like, oh, this had to happen. No, when I'm objectively starting to look at the evidence, it's starting to point to other sources that are alternate to what has already been put out there. And that is why we discuss them how we do. That is why we stay objective. That is why we respect the contents of different individuals involved. Because they still live a life. They still have their freedom until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. Same way with the suspects. People are like, oh, no, he did. Nah. We don't know. Till we see that bill of information, we don't know who did what. We don't know how they're going to hold them. And to be real with you, the way the evidence was held, I don't see anything solid even pushing these men towards it. If that was the case, when they first stepped through the doors, there would have been a bill of information created off the DNA. Now they're asking for it late in the case. You got to watch the actions of how the process rolls out. That defines exactly what happened, when it happened, why it happened, and to what degree someone is held responsible. That's the problem. Most people are like, oh, they make their assumptions truth because they can't live the truth of the reality. You get what I'm saying? You could play off your assumptions as truth, but that's nothing how I rock. That's not how I move. When I called out Victor and them, I called them out for a specific reason. Because they released the story public, pulled it down, and now they want nothing to do with it. How? How are you going to do that when I knew nothing of this occurrence till I seen your story? Then I was like, whoa, what happened? So they clout chased that story out to the point where it led to people being curious And it led to me critical thinking through the situation. That was the problem. Because if something was really definitive, you should have took a different take to the information, to the understanding, to all the different elements, You know, elements and elements are different things. I could break that down if you need me to, but what I have coming out is actually going to be a sincere take on the different incidents I see going on, and a call to action to the people in Chicago to unite off of a situation that's serious. We talk about real things here on this channel, and we're going to continue to. It's going to be CommenterNation to the end. Again, we're a pioneering factor that builds a strong formation and a strong team off of what's going on. We don't have time for the half stories or the in and outs and all of that slap happy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Whatever's going on in the comments, you know what I mean? And I know that there's people in the comments that's really other people. I can tell because I see y'all on other channels and how you guys talk. I know you're not who you say you are, but at the same time, I pay respects to you, and you're still part of CommenterNation. You see, I don't oust you for your beliefs. I don't oust you for being who you are, but I am critical of your presence. I am critical of what you say, and I do take it serious. I take what you say serious. So remember that. That's all a part of being grown. That's all a part of giving respects to commenters in CommenterNation. So everybody who's saying I'm not putting my energy, don't worry. You have a lot of energy to put towards many different things that are coming out. Yes, we discussed this story in extensive, but I told you it was a series. Not saying it's ending, but there are certain things that need to come out. I need an autopsy. I need a toxicology. And I need one of these witnesses to speak up for what they release before I can go further, because it is starting to contradict a lot of things I thought previous. We got more coming up. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.